Hello and welcome to Learn Statistics class. In this class we are going to learn the statistical concept in simple and more easy way. The topic of today's lecture is some standard discrete distribution. In this topic we are going to learn binomial distribution. In the previous lecture we have learned many more concepts from binomial distribution. Now in today's lecture we are going to solve examples on binomial distribution. So let us start with the examples of binomial distribution. Now before going to examples of binomial distribution, we must know when do we get binomial distribution. There are some points in which the binomial distribution exists. So let us start to understand the different points to get the binomial distribution. The first point is a trial or experiment is repeated n times, where n is a finite number. Means experiment should repeat a finite number of times. The second point to remember is each trial results in two ways, success or failure. Means the result of each experiment should be a success or failure. And the last point is the probability of success P is constant in each trial. If all these points are covered in an experiment, then an experiment goes to a binomial distribution. So we shall start with the example number 1 of binomial distribution. If x is a binomial variate with parameter n equal to 5 and the another parameter p, probability of success is 0.3, then find out the probability x equal to 3, x less than 3 and x greater than equal to 3. Since we are given the parameters n equal to 5 and p equal to 0.3, first we write down the PMF of binomial distribution, and that is probability x equal to x is equal to 5cx 0.3 raised to x multiplied by 0.7 raised to 5 minus x for x equal to 0, 1, 2 up to 5, where q equal to 1 minus p. So it is 1 minus 0.3 is equal to 0.7. Now we calculate the probability x equal to 3. So it is by substituting x equal to 3 in the PMF, we get 5c3 0.3 raised to 3 multiplied by 0.7 raised to 5 minus 3. So which is equal to 5c3 0.3 raised to 3 into 0.7 raised to 2. By calculating with the help of calculator, we get the answer is equal to 0.1323. This is the probability of x equal to 3 if we are given n equal to 5 and p equal to 0.3. Now we shall calculate probability x less than 3. This means x will take the values x equal to 0 or 1 or 2, which is equal to probability x equal to 0 plus probability x equal to 1 plus probability x equal to 2. From the probability mass function, we get probability x equal to 0 as 5c0 0.3 raised to 0 0.7 raised to 5 minus 0 plus 5C1 0.3 raised to 1 0.7 raised to 5 minus 1, and the last step is last probability is 5C2 0.3 raised to 2 multiplied by 0.7 raised to 5 minus 3, which is equal to this 5C01 is 1, 5C0 is 1, 0.3 raised to 0 is 1 into 0.7 raised to 5 plus 5C1 is 5 into 0.3 plus 0.7 raised to 4 0.5C2 is 10, so it is 10.3 square into 0.7 square, 0.7 raised to 3. After simplification, we get the answer is equal to 0.83692. One may take up to 4 to 5 decimal while calculating the probabilities. This is the probability x less than 3. Now we shall calculate the probability x greater than or equal to 3. Probability x greater than or equal to 3. This probability can be calculated in two ways. In the first way, this is nothing but probability x is equal to 3 or 4 or 5, which is equal to probability x equal to 3 plus probability x equal to 4 plus probability x equal to 5. This is the one way to calculate probability x greater than or equal to 3. The other way is use complement of probability. How it is? Probability x greater than or equal to 3 is equal to 1 minus probability x less than 3 by the complement of probability theorem. And we know that we have already calculated this probability x less than 3, and that is nothing but 0.83692, and which is equal to 0.16308. This is the another way to calculate the same probability. Student can take the first method or second method, whichever easier you can take it. As we have already calculated probability x less than 3, that's why second method is more convenient than the first method. Now we shall move to the second example. The mean and variance of binomial variate x with parameter n and p are 2 and 1.6 respectively. Find probability x equal to 0, x equal to 1 and probability x greater than or equal to 2. In this example, here we are not given the parameters, but we are given the mean and variance of binomial distribution. From that mean and variance, first of all we have to obtain the parameters n and p, then we obtain the probabilities x equal to 0, x equal to 1 and x greater than or equal to 2. So let us calculate the parameters n and p. Since we are given mean expectation x is equal to 2, and we know that expectation x is nothing but n into p for binomial distribution. Similarly, variance x is equal to 1.6. and we know that variance of binomial distribution is n into p into q. To obtain p and n, we will take the ratio of variance and mean. So what happened? npq divided by np, and these values are given. Variance is 1.6 and mean is 2. Here n and p cancel, np cancel, therefore q is equal to 1.6 divided by 2, which is equal to 0.8. Now we can obtain the value of p with the help of q, as p equal to 1 minus q. So it is 1 minus 0.8 is equal to 0.2. We get one parameter p as 0.2. Substitute this value 0.2 in expectation. So expectation x is equal to np, which is equal to 2. Therefore n into 0.2 is equal to 2. Hence n equal to 2 divided by 0.2, which is equal to 1 upon 0.2, 0.1. So which is 10. Hence we get n equal to 10 and p equal to 0.2, the two parameters of binomial distribution. Now we calculate the required probability. So first probability is, we have to find out probability x equal to 0. So which is equal to 10c0 0.2 raised to 0 and q is 0.8. So it is 0.8 raised to 10 minus 0, which is equal to 10c0 is 1, 0.2 raised to 0 is 1, multiplied by 0.8 raised to 10, and that is 0.107374. This is the probability of x equal to 0. Now we will obtain the value of probability x equal to 1. It is 10c1 0.2 raised to 1 and into 0.8 raised to 10 minus 1. By putting x equal to 1 in the PMF with parameter n equal to 10 and p equal to 0.2. So it is 10c1 is 10 into 0.2 multiplied by 0.8 raised to 9. By simplifying it with the help of calculator, we get probability x equal to 1 is 0.268435. I am taking 6 decimal. Students are requested to take more than 4 decimals. Now we will obtain the last probability, and which is probability x greater than or equal to 2. I will use the theorem of complement of probability, which is equal to 1 minus probability x less than 2. This probability is also calculated by two methods. By using one method is the theorem of complement of probability, and the another method is regular as usual method. Means probability x greater than equal to 2 is nothing but probability x equal to 2 or 3 or 4 up to or 10. Means we have to calculate 8 probabilities in order to obtain probability x greater than equal to 2. But while taking the second method, we have to calculate only 2 probabilities. Which one? Since it is 1 minus probability x less than 2, means we have to calculate only probability x equal to 0 and 1. Means our efforts are reduced to very much. That's why students are requested to take a decision on the basis of calculating the example, which method we should use in order to save time and our efforts also. So which is equal to 1 minus probability x equal to 0 or 1, since only these two values are less than 2, which is equal to 1 minus probability x equal to 0 plus probability x equal to 1. And we have already calculated these two probabilities. Probability x equal to 0 is, we have already calculated 0.107374, and probability x equal to 1 is 0.268435. 0.268435. By subtracting these two probabilities from 1, we get 0.624190. This is the probability of x greater than equal to 2. Now we shall start with the next example, example number 3. 10 fair coins are tossed together. Here fair coin means a coin with two-sided head and tail, not the same on the two-sided, means a coin with two head on two side or tail on both sides. These coins are not fair coins. A fair coin is such a coin which has one side tail and other side is head. That coin is fair coin. 10 fair coins are tossed together. Find the probability of getting 7 heads and 3 tails. And second is at least 7 heads. If the experiment is repeated 100 times, in how many cases can we expect 7 heads and 3 tails and at least 7 heads? Now we shall define a random variable x. Let x is a random variable of getting head. First we define a random variable. By observing the example, we come to a conclusion that we are going to learn an experiment which is repeated 100 times, and with 100 number is a finite number, and a experiment results in success and failure. Here success is getting head and failure is getting tail. Means this example can be solved with the help of binomial distribution. Further, the probability of success means the probability of getting head is constant in each case, and that is, we know that probability of getting head when we toss a coin is 1/2, and which is constant in case of a fair coin. That's why in this example we use binomial distribution. So we shall calculate the first probability. Probability x equal to 7 means probability of getting 7 heads, means the remaining 3 are of course tails, is equal to 10c7 1/2 raised to 7 into 1/2 raised to 10 minus 7. Here we take n equal to 10, which is given, and p equal to probability of getting head as we know, which is 1 upon 2. Since P is 1 by 2, then Q is of course 1 upon 2, because Q is nothing but 1 minus P, and it is 1 minus 1 half, that is 1 half, which is equal to 10C7 into 1 upon 2 raised to 10, and by simplifying it we get 0.11718. This is the probability of getting 7 head and 10 tails. Further, the experiment is repeated 100 times. So, the expected number of cases of getting 7 head and 3 tails are expected frequency is equal to n into probability x equal to 7. Since experiment is repeated 100 times, so it is 100 into probability 0.11718, and which is equal to 11.718. Since this is the expected frequency which cannot be in decimal, so it is approximately equal to 12. We get 12 cases in 100 experiments such that in which we get the 7 heads. This is the meaning of expected frequency of getting 7 heads. Now we will calculate the next probability, and that is probability of getting at least 7 head, means probability of getting x greater than equal to 7, which is equal to probability x equal to 7 or 8 or 9 or 10. Since we toss 10 coins, probability x equal to 7 plus probability x equal to 8 plus probability x equal to 9, and last is probability x equal to 10. By substituting these values in the probability mass function, we get the first probability x equal to 7 is, we have already calculated, which is 0.11781, plus next one is 10C8 1 half raised to 8 1 half raised to 10 minus 8, plus 10C9 1 upon 2 raised to 9 1 upon 2 raised to 10 minus 9. Similarly, last term is 10C10 1 upon 2 raised to 10 multiplied by 1 upon 2 raised to 10 minus 10, which is equal to 0.11781 plus 10C8 1 half raised to 10 plus 10C9 1 half raised to 10. Since 10 is 1, so it is only 1 into 1 half raised to 10, which is equal to 0.11718 plus 1 upon 2 raised to 10. I am taking this is common, so into bracket 10C8 plus 10C9 plus 1. By simplifying it with the help of calculator, we get this 1 by 2 raised to 10 into bracket is 0.05468, and by adding these two terms we get this is 0.1718675. This is the probability of at least 7 heads x greater than equal to 7. Therefore, the expected frequency of getting at least 7 head is n into probability x greater than equal to 7, and we know that a experiment is repeated 100 times, so it is 100 into 0.1718675, which is equal to 17.18675, and as it is expected frequency, so it is approximately 17, means out of 100 trials 17 cases are such that we get more than at least 7 heads. The results are at least 7 heads in the 17 cases out of the 100 repetitions. In this way, in this example, we learn how we decide in which case a binomial distribution exists. For that, we learn some conditions, and depending on that condition, we solve the numerical examples on binomial distribution. I hope the students understand all the examples. If a student have some query, then please write in the comment box. I will resolve your query as soon as possible. In the previous lectures, we have taken many more concepts from the binomial distribution and some other discrete distributions. If a student want to learn that chapter, then click on the I button at the top right corner of the screen, and link of that lecture is given in the description box. Many more statistical concepts are discussed on Learn Statistics channel. The link of all that lectures are also given in the description box. If a student like this lecture, then click on the like button, share with your friends in order to learn the statistical concept in simple and more easy way. We will meet in the next lecture with the next topic. Till then, we will stop here. Thank you.